Parents must have the final say in matters where their children are involved. Not some distant group who has little to no knowledge or understanding of the individual child or children within a said community. Let us not kid ourselves though, the government doesn't care about the effective education of our children, evidenced so by the condition, the current state of our education. This is all, in my opinion, just a way to get children into schools earlier so that they can get their claws into them and indoctrinate and propagandize them into whatever radical ideology the government subscribes to at this time. Whether that is the current administration or the next one, regardless of their palatability to you. These are our children, not the state's assets to control. The state must remember its place. It belongs to the people, not the other way around. Thank you.
My name is Kerry MacDonald, and I reject the Bill, especially Clause 37, for many reasons, one being the proposed external assessment. Having been a teacher in public schools in 3 provinces and having my own registered independent school for 6 years in Bloem, and then homeschooling my children for 18 years, I realized that homeschooling is the best way to educate a child. The reasons being is that I can pick and choose the best parts of various curriculums to suit each child to cater for their needs. My oldest child is dyslexic, and the school system would have failed him. This intelligent child who struggles with the written work now has a school leaving certificate because I could teach him in a way that he understands and remembers, and we could choose what we taught him. We did it without following a curriculum. He would have suffered in public school and not received the help he needed. At the age of 18, he's now an apprentice, learning a trade, and already earning a salary. My daughter wanted to start formal schooling at 4. We let her because she was capable. At school, she wouldn't have been allowed to do this. My youngest child learns best when he is walking around or rocking on his chair because he is a kinesthetic learner. He would not be able to do this in a classroom and probably be very behind academically because he is easily distracted in a big class setting. Instead, we discovered he has a natural aptitude for maths, and he's 2 grades ahead in this subject because we can progress at his speed and complete work in a fun setting where he's not forced to sit still. So the main reason I'm rejecting the Bill is because I would not like to be forced to have external assessment. My children are on different levels for different subjects. Some are ahead of their peers at school, some may be just on level. Assessing them on what school children are studying would be unfair to them. As a dedicated parent, I know whether my children have grasped the concept or not, and if not, to work on that area again. The people who wrote the bill have not done much research into the finer details of homeschooling, and I would encourage the department to engage with parents to get a better understanding of how we are educating our children. We have our children's best interests at heart and would thus obviously want what's best for them. Our lives are devoted to our children and their well-being, and providing them with a superior education is extremely important to us. I think if parents could continue choosing their curricula and were not forced to have their own children externally assessed before grade 12, they would be more positive about registering their children with the education department. We are happy to engage and share our experiences, and we are fortunate enough in the Free State to have Dr. Dora at the Department of Education, who has taken a keen interest in the homeschoolers, the different curricula we use, and how we operate. It is wonderful to engage with someone who wishes to understand how we as homeschoolers operate. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going this side, and this is probably the last round. It should be the last round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna come. If don't go and make a rai. It's a last round on this side. So I'm coming for the last round on this side. Hey. We can, are you simulating? I start 10 pa. No, you can't come for the second. No. Let's get one more. Yeah, you can go. He's coming from the. If you spoke, please don't speak. And if you spoke, you also don't write a written submission. There are forms there for written submissions. So we are asking people that feel not fine to speak to fill the forms and take them back to the table.
Good afternoon. My name is Mulifi Monge. Before I fall down, I support the bill. My reason especially to Section 4A SASA Act, Section 6, Section 12, subsection 3A. When I'm here, I'm not motivated by any politically or deployed here. I'm here to see that the education of my children, even your children, get more better than this. I'm not influenced or given the money to say I oppose the bill. As the chairperson, I want to see my children and even your children go get a better education. My advice to you all, don't politicize this public hearing. Even at some school at Langhoven Park is the domination of the people of, we can call it them, so they don't allow us to go, especially the blacks. They only allow the whites there. Even they draft their own SGB policy to block the whites. I thank you.
Ke a leboha lebitso la ka ke Lekgoana Mohapi ke modulasetulo wa SATU mona Botshabelo ke tlo bua ka taba ena ya language policy ke bile le monyetla wa go ruta mane Bloemfontein hape ke na le monyetla wa go ruta mona Botshabelo se ke se hlokometseng ke hore dikolo tsena tse leng hore nako ele ya pele ene di tsewa ele tsa batho ba basweu di ntse di na le kgethollo ka lebaka la puo hobane ngwana le ha le monyenyana ho batlahala hore a tsebe hore na ba batla ho tseba hore na ngwana ena o tla kgona ho bua puo enana ya se-Afrikaans a ke na bothata le puo ya se-Afrikaans bothata ba ka ke hore fela puo ya Afrikaans ha e sebediswa ho tima bana monyetla wa hore ba kene sekolo so jwale ke supporta bill ena ntlheng ena ya language policy hobane ha o ka sheba hantle sekolong se seng mo nkileng ka ya teng ke botsa principal wa bona a tsitlelletse taba ya hore o ntsa ba ntse ba bua ba batla hore Afrikaans e nne be puo ya sekolo ya ba ha ke mo botsa ke re ho ye ke bana ba kae ba etsang grade R ba etsang grade R ba Afrikaans empa ba English bona ba ne ba le bangata ho feta ba Afrikaans so jwale ke hlokomela ho
No.
taba ena na ya Afrikaans e sebediswe e le thibelo ya bana.
Are you supporting or not supporting the bill? All right.
The name is Lekgoana Mohapi. the chairperson of SATU here in Botshabelo. I support this bill, but I want to make an input about the language policy. We still encounter some problems with the former Model C schools that are still discriminating, especially when it comes to the admission of our children. They always want to find out before they could admit a learner whether they will be able to speak Afrikaans. If they are not able to speak Afrikaans, they will not be admitted.
Ki qale ki dumedise batho bohle ka hare ho sebaka sena. Nna lebitso la ka ke Mpho ke Rapuleng. Ke membera ya SGB ka hare ho sekolo sa Mpatleng. Jwale ke ema mona sebakeng sena ke re I partially support the bill. Lebaka la ka ke lena. Bili ena mo ki hlileng ke hananang le yona. Ki mona mo itimbang di SGB matla when it comes to procurement plan. Mo ifang HOD matla hore ibe yena ya etsang qeto. Lebaka baka ki lena. Immediately mabaka abating kapa mathata abating kare hore ho etsuwe procurement. Ha o tlo latua mang kapa mang. Ho tlo latua yona SGB yena e tingwe matla. E tla be le yona e tlo be latua. Ho thwe SGB o ne o le kae ha o no etsala sena. Le ne le kae di SGB members ha o etsala sena. Jwale ke re ke kopa hore le ke le lot le ka ho sheba hore na le ka se khutlisetse di SGB matla when it comes to procurement. Hobane SGB ke yona e dutseng moo. E bonang ntho e nngwe le e nngwe, ntho e nngwe le e nngwe e etsahalang moo, le fe SGB matla moo, ke a kopa, ke a leboha.
My name is Mpho Rapuleng, an SGB member at one of the schools in Botshabelo. I partially support the bill under the following reasons. Where SGBs are disempowered on I don't agree on where SGBs are disempowered on procurement processes. Because when there are problems at schools, the same SGBs will be called to account. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Jabu Apane. I'm from Congress of South African School Governing Bodies. Chair, we also as Congress of South African School Governing Bodies, we learned with sadness in the morning when we heard of the passing of our MEC, Mr. Mekwe. We would also like to send condolences to his family. Translator, I wanted to speak in English throughout, but my English is not that good. I understand that I may not be able to deliver the message the way I wanted to in English because the language policy in my time didn't allow me to be admitted at a school that was English medium school. The language policy. So, and my name is Jabu Sam, and I had Sam ready because we were given names so that those teachers at the English medium schools could be able to pronounce our name. They don't compromise there. They have been in Africa for more than 400 years, but you will never find a white Tabu or a white Mpho. They don't compromise there. The only reason why, okay, I fully support the bill. I fully support the bill. The only reason why batho ba ba sa supporting bill ke hore motho o motho o tlo kena ka sekolong ka baka la hore section 6 e thotse e sa bue next ka taba ya hore na department e kena kae mo hodimo ya taba ya language policy e bua fela hore SGB e tla determine hore ke mang a tlileng go kena goba a tlileng go tsena mo sekolong SGB ne e thotse. But in this case amendment ye ya bill e re HOD after ba dirile SGB e filwe matla ya o ka ngola policy HOD o tlamehile a tla e checke a bona hore na policy e fair na mang le mang a ka kena mo sekolong seo na ngwana motho o ileng go disadvantage a ka kena mo sekolong because language policy practice wa fela mo ileng gore a e re favor it is discriminatory ke fela dikolong tsa batho ba batho. That's why le bona makgwa a kwatile so ka taba ya language policy rona re a leboga but a e gatelle di SGBs le di SGB se di sa dumele go ya ka mokgwa e leng gore HOD o tla ba respondile ka teng after o bona e sana le recourse ya gore ka dirang e ka appeala or ya lokisa mo e leng gore HOD o tlamela e dire teng le teng mo tabeng ya the home schools hona ya no ba batla go tlosa bana because motho wa kena go dikolong ba batla mo isa kae ka hae ba tshabang motho o motho ene a ba batli regulate you ntweo. Now HOD ya kena ebile e re tla romela di officials kontlung yo bona rona the programs se ba di rutang bana ke tsona na da in line with mmuso.
Your time is up.
Aba batli mmuso o kena.
Asmeka ncinga translate.
The name is Jabu Apani. There are those who are not supporting this bill because of certain reasons. For instance, the SGBs are the ones who are determining the admissions of learners at schools. However, the HOD is always tasked to check the policy formulation. This issue of the language policy normally applies at certain schools, not all schools, because it is being used by those schools who do not want to admit a certain sector from the society. The other problem is this of homeschooling, which is being implemented because they are afraid of their children to be at the same schools with the blacks.
Good day. Honorable members, my name is A.T. Molele from Congress of South African School Governing Body. Yeah, I'm really surprised. I'm so surprised. And this element, I'm sensing the racist element in here. And then I've seen that practice happening yesterday, where we were yesterday at Coffee Fontaine, when a certain race just came in number just to say we don't support the bill, without any to seek any reason, at least to say there are some of the things that need to be corrected. That element that racist element is the element that seek to divide our education system. Because I can tell you now, there are people who will never associate their children with other children for the benefit of racism, which is practiced in schools. If I can post one question in here, that how many townships, black townships, where we can find at least an African teacher or English teacher from white people? I can say, you can raise your hands. No one. No one who can tell me that. It is because we are still having white schools and black schools. And that agenda in our democratic dispensation, it will always emerge if it's not corrected in Department of Education, in our education system. Because there are people, I think even in our government officials, it's like they don't see the need for such things to be corrected. Something need to be corrected. Because the racist is a disease, and it's there and it's practiced in schools. That must be stopped. We need a teacher, white teacher, who can teach English in Black Township. We need a black teacher who can teach Afrikaans in war school or Lair school, because those are the quintile 4 and the quintile 5. Those are still public schools. Thank you.
Are you supporting or not supporting the bill?
I am fully and unambiguously supporting the bill.
Good afternoon to all portfolio committee. My name is Mr. Apani from the Congress of South African School Governing Bodies. We are representing SGBs at the public schools. So I am not going to take much of your time. My job or my submission. Okay, first of all, I really support the bill. I want you, portfolio committee, to look at the following. That is my submission from COSA SGB. Please look at the matter of compensating our SGBs at schools according to clause 23 of section 27. As the association which represents the school governing bodies, we will appreciate if SGBs can receive stipend. Number two, I would really like to, I didn't see where the bill addresses the issue of security at our schools. I will appreciate if the portfolio committee can see it necessarily to see that our school has securities. Our teachers are injured every day. Learners, because this thing of security, I think it is undermined. I thank you.
Hello. I greet everyone in the wonderful name of my Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. My name is Lungelwa Molefi. I'm a homeschool mom, parent of 5 kids. Okay. I think the problem is, I didn't get her name. The problem, we don't understand each other. As well as we read and we thought that we understand in a way, they also don't understand what we're trying to say. As homeschoolers, we are not saying that as she said, we are saying that if you give us the right then to educate our kids, why must there be assessors who must come to assess us at our homes? I want to give an example. When the child starts school at grade R, the child comes from home, and then by the time the child gets to the teacher, the child is potty trained, the child knows her name or his name, so the teacher only takes from there. So why don't you have that trust in parents that we can do this? Okay? And number 2, if the kids is at school, they get homeworks. Who does those homeworks? The parents. So I don't understand that. Why must we? It's like we are being belittled, if I may say. I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but we feel like you are taking our rights as parents to do. Like, for instance, the government gave everybody to abort. We didn't abort our kids, so I don't understand why. It is going to be in your best interest more than I for my child. Correct me if I'm wrong. So please, the first thing is we do not say that, like, if you eat a soup and the fly goes into the soup, what do? Do you take out the fly and eat the soup, or do you throw out the soup? It depends on person per person. So I decide I do not support the support bill because it doesn't take all of my interests at heart. Okay, that's the first one. Number 2, at section 57, section 51, it reads there that the parent must be monitored for academic progress of a child. The child that the parent has a best interest so that the child can learn and do more. Number 2, section number 3 of the same, number B, number 3, it says that there must be HODs who come to your house to check if you are doing right. Look, I've been in your system, and we know that when the stressed, so we don't want that for our kids. Sorry, and thank you very much.
Good afternoon, my name is Sonia Karsop and I'm with the Sonia Karsop. And I'm with the Home Education for Free State. The problem I do have with the Bella Bill, so I am against it, is the fact that we as parents need to give a report of our children to the head of department. But any case where we follow different curriculums, say for instance, one child does CAPS as well as Cambridge, how is anybody going to determine if it is up to level to the CAPS curriculum? And that for me is actually very heartbreaking. And if that person determines, oh no, my child is not up to date with CAPS, then he will be forced to go to school, where he was with a better system, with Cambridge or whatever the case may be. And that is truly heartbreaking to me, that we are forced to do that. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks very much. My name is Tsepo Stock, a member of the community in Botshabelo from L section in Ward 35. I fervently and unapologetically in support of the amendment of the bill. And I further wish to make a few submissions on the bill. Under subsection 1, clause 2.1.4, under the very same home education, it speaks of tutors also. We have a problem of people who are calling themselves tutors, who have access to our children, but do not have the much needed education to do the work of tutoring. We now, my proposal on the bill was to have their profiles. They must be profiled, regulated, and be registered under the department or under the district schools. The second submission under section 5, clause 2.4.6, which does not exactly provide the exact personnel or body of authority to admit learners in schools. I'm in full support of the augmentation of the language policy on the basis that we have experienced unfair discrimination in public schools, particularly by the schools designated in urbanized areas or areas dominated by a group of people speaking a particular language. The bill will therefore address this challenge and open schools to every qualifying South African child. On monitoring of attendance, the submission would include learners' home visit to deeply understand the reasons behind their absence and work hand in glove with other government departments such as Department of Health and Department of Social Development. This is because we have children who do not attend classes in schools due to social ills. Some are abused in their homes. You'd find that a child is working during school hours when he's supposed to be at school. He's being kept busy by their parents or a guardian at home. Hence, the attendance will therefore be disturbed. I've kept my thing here. Can I just, in a minute? Sorry. Okay. Also, my gratitude is forwarded to the Portfolio Committee for a fair process to afford us the opportunity to state our support. But it is, however, backward and counter-revolutionary to not support without making a progressive submission that will help build a better South Africa. It is therefore my prerogative expression to fully and fervently support the bill. Xamaku.
Okay, let me note hands. This will be the last round. Now this side. Yourself, ma'am. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So many.
2 more or say land. Okay, so these are the last. Wait, any end? Oh, 1, 2. Then we've got about 10.
Good afternoon, Chairperson and Committee. My name is Gerda Wellman. I coordinate the homeschool group in the Free State for the past 10 years. I support home education and I reject the clause 37. Daily, I'm contacted by concerned parents who inquire about homeschooling. All of them disapprove of the current situation in schools. Some of the main reasons are: 1, too many children in one classroom with little to no individual attention. Only the CAPS curriculum is available. 3, bullying, drugs, the removal of religion in schools, the lack of support for special need children. Parents are the primary educators and are the greatest influence to our children. To be able to home educate our children in their home environment enable them to learn and develop exactly according to their interests and capabilities and skills. Homeschoolers can choose from a wide variety of local and international curriculums, and that opens the world for homeschoolers. We as parents are raising our children to best compete in the ever-changing world we live in today. Freedom to love learning. By monitoring our own children, we can better understand our child's development and areas for improvement. My biggest concern is the absolute lack of research on the benefits of homeschooling. There are incredible successes and achieved by homeschoolers. Parents must have the ability to choose to homeschool their children. Parents know what is best for their own children. Home education cannot be under the same doctrine law as school education. I reject clause 37. Stop the ballable from affecting our children's future. Walking side by side with our children all the way. Kukanya. Be a lighthouse.
Sorry, ma'am. Excuse me. Are you rejecting 37 or everything?
Yes, totally. Yes.
Were you in Coffee Fountain yesterday? You yourself? I saw you, yeah. I want to say so. Next speaker.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am Nomalangan SASA, the Deputy Regional Secretary of SATU in the Central Region. Yes, we had a lot of people rejecting and rejecting, quoting and quoting. I stand here to submit the following recommendations from SATU, more especially on Section 6, the 6A amendments, where the minister has to appoint the advisors. We submitted the following. We recommend that the process of appointment be transparent. It is a proposal that provision be made for stakeholders to be presented in any advisory body established by the minister, and this does not in any way present a conflict of interest, even if the representative of the critical stakeholders make representation to any such body. It is in our view that critical stakeholders not only become spectators, but participate fully, more meaningfully in the formulation of proposals to the minister. This will enhance the credibility of the process and will institute the fact that education is a societal issue. We support the bill.
Honourable Chair, honourable members of the Portfolio Committee, thank you for this opportunity. My name is Monique Esterhuizen. I reject the Bella Bill and I'm specifically opposed to clause 37. I started homeschooling my children because I love them dearly and I want them to develop to their full potential. They would not be able to do that if limited to one education system. Most children would not. The Bella Bill, as it is at the moment, will effectively take away my freedom to exercise my duty as a parent. Please don't do that. I want to respond specifically
to what was pointed out as misconceptions regarding the proposed homeschooling regulations. The competent assessors, as defined in the Bella Bill, are not trained, qualified or informed about the many methodologies and curricula available to homeschoolers. I know this because of a recent communication with such a registered educator who admitted to having never heard of the terms I mentioned. By subjecting us to their assessment, you are effectively limiting us to caps or something close to it. You cannot limit education to what the government and government officials are familiar with. Also, how can a government official judge our methods and decide whether we may guide and educate our children in a way we see fit if they do not know our children and are primarily familiar with CAPS and traditional schooling? Please engage with the homeschooling community in order to draft sensible regulations. Thank you.
Hi, good day, honourable members. My name is Adrian van Tonner. I'm a father of a 6-year-old daughter. Let me first start to get your attention. Nelson Mandela once said, and I quote, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." End quote. And let me say that this bill is going to take that weapon away from you, and it's going to use that weapon against you. Let me say what I mean. The disempowering of school governing bodies, the schools need the support of each parent and close community. This bill, in its current form, disempowers schools and the communities while creating many opportunities for abuse by the ministers, MECs and provincial heads of basic education departments to capture the schools. This will lead to possible mismanagement of the taxpayers' money. Then other issue is section 37 of the Bella Bill. Overregulation of homeschooling does not take into consideration the needs of the learner. Parents need to hold the power over their children's education. So I reject the Bella Bill entirely. This bill will cause unnecessary delays in educational decision making. I thank you.
Good afternoon, our honorable members of parliament and the society at large. My name is Tekso Mohase and I reside here in Ward 34. So I would like to start by sending my condolences to the family of our Free State MEC of Education, Comrade Tate Mahwe, and our dedicated comrades in the African National Congress. So now we'll start by saying I agree with this Bella Bill. It seems like changes are starting to be seen here in South Africa, because for the past 29 years, education system of South Africa did not really accommodate our black children. Why? Because if you look at when we wrote our final examinations in matric, this question paper, it was a dual question paper whereby it contains the English part, and when you turn it upside down, you will find the Afrikaans part. So, in other words, African children are being subjected to an unfair treatment by our political system, because we are being forced to learn all the subjects with a foreign language. Hence, whilst are being subjected to write with their own home language, doing all the subjects. So for me, it was not fair at all. I really support this bill.
Chairperson, ke kopa ho bua puo ya ka ya letswele. Lebitso la ka ke Moeketsi Charles Maina. Ke setho sa ANC kwano Mangaung. Ka bodulo ke dula Ward 46. Nakong ena ke kena sekolo ka yona ha ke etsa hanyane fela. Ke rutuwe ka tsiye. Ke ne ke sa tsebe hona ke tla fumana mosebetsi kae ha puso ya pele e neng ruta ka tsiye. Ha jwale tjena puso ena re leng ho yona e fa bana ba rona ba qalang ho kena sekolo monyetla wa tshehetso hore ha o fitla o etsa grade R o fumane tshehetso o e hlokang. Re ntse re lla ka hore na China ho etsuwa eng ha o fitla sekolong, empa ke makala hore wena o le motho e motsho o eme jwalo ka nna o eme mona o bo sa batle ho support-a seo puso ya rona ya batho ba batsho nakong ya kgatello e tsebang mo re tswang teng e re lwanelang. Ka nnete ke maswabisa dihlong a maholo, empa nna ke support-a bili ena ka mmelo pelo le moya. Ke a leboha.
The name is Meketsi Charles Maina. When I first went to school, I was taught something about a locust. And I didn't know what the locust will assist me in my life. Nowadays, things are much better because learners are given the necessary support that they need. We always ask ourselves about the system that they are using in countries like China. But here in our country, I can say that it is a shame that there are those people who are not supporting the efforts of our government. They are opposing everything everything from all directions.
Ha ke le o ke dumedise batho ba tlileng mona kaofela ka lebitso ke letsoa motshwari ke setho sa ANC ke setho sa SANCO. Ha ke a kena mona ke batla fela go khutlela mane nakong ya rona ntse re kena sekolo nakong ya na mashatara ya ho no sokolwa disebediswa ka nako eo. Dikolo ne di kena habedi ho no tla kena class ya pele ka nako itseng ka 12 setswe ho be le session ya bobedi ya sekolo sa bobedi setswe. Re ne re sokola matitjhere a rona a batho ba batsho a etsa bojohle ba hore ba bona ngwana thuto ya motho e motho e tswela pele. Jwale ka sheko lena na ha ena re ha dintho di tlile kwano hore ngwana e motho a tsebe ho tswela pele thutong ya hae a tsebe ho ntlafala be re hanana le sena. Ho no sena dipapadi o sena ntho tse ngata e ne re ngwana motho e motho ha o no thwe wa matha ho no thwe ke tsotsi. Ha o matha wa motho e mosweu ho thwe yena ke motho wa di-athletiki hobane o tseba le ho matha. So ka mantswe a mang ka kutlwisiso ya ka ke tlebe ke nahana hore se ne se ke se rutwa ka nako eno ha ke batla ho bua ka bontate ba rona ba mamateng ka monana. Ho na le ntate e mong monana ka nako ha e ne le principal sekolo sa ene se tsamatsi. So ka mantswe a mang le matemong ke a mo opela matsoho hobane o la etsa bojohle ba hore thuto ya motho e motho e tswela pele. Ke a mo lebohela a sa phela tjena ntate Ntho le mme wa ka o teng mane ke principal Grassland mane bana ba sekolo sa hae ba atle le yena ke a mo lebohela hobane ho bontsha hore o tsotella thuto ya motho e motsho. Ke a leboha, ke support-a bill.
My name is Letsoa Motwari, an ANC and a SANCO member. During my school days, we struggled with resources and we used the platooning system where some classes would be at school in the morning and then others in the afternoon. As black children, we were not exposed to sporting activities, so we appreciate what our government has done these days because we are exposed to sporting activities. I want to thank our parents and our former teachers. My mother is here. She's the principal at one of the most performing schools. I want to thank everyone for the role that they have played in my life, and I support the bill. Thanks.
Chairperson, my name is Khozo Twabala, but you can call me also Peace. Let me take this opportunity to make one of the quotation from Che Guevara when he said the walls of education system must come down and education should not be a privilege so that the children of those who have money can study. In those words, I am standing here to support the government with this bill. I support this bill because it gives an opportunity to the government, which is ANC-led, to make sure that the education of a black child is sustained more and more, because previously we had so many challenges because of language barrier. Many young people were introduced to the education and ultimately they failed so many subjects because of language barrier. Firstly, you have to go to school from grade R, be introduced to English or Afrikaans, of which you don't know, and then your language is Sesotho. So as a black child, I found it difficult for myself to translate and interpret the words in English or to translate the words in English. I can say I struggled to pass my grades up to matric. But since this government of black people took over, we see so many young people being introduced to education that they understand. And I will also like the Department of Education to also introduce the mining subjects in our schools. We should not be taught about locusts and ants, and of which are not relevant to our curricula. We must introduce the mining subjects in our schools and many other subjects which are relevant to the departments that we as government have. I thank you.
This is my height. Thanks a lot. Hello, can you hear me? Hi. Honorable members, Chairperson, thank you so much for having us. I always wanted to say that. My name is Audrey of Melbourne. I just want to talk about Section 37. I'm totally against that, but only in the section regarding the homeschooling. I, as a homeschool father, are deeply involved with all the things that we have to deal with in the schools, with my wife, having to talk to new mothers who's really concerned about how schools are affecting the children's development. And I think on the subject of the homeschool, we are not against the whole, just stop everything. I think if the department just wants to, we can renegotiate and start talking, and you can actually be advised and see what is available for a homeschool child.
all the opportunities, everybody that's actually involved, even when you are not intellectually there. There's even companies that will teach you to do with your hands what your brain cannot do. So I think we must just have a good talk, sit down and just rediscuss what you want to establish, especially clause 37. That's basically all we want to read. We don't want to fight, we just want to fix it. Thanks a lot.
Are you supporting the? You're not supporting? Okay.
Greetings, my name is Kutumitsa Mlale. I reject the Bella bills, in particularly clause 41 that amends section 61 on South African School Act. This clause allows the minister to make the regulation concerning the learner pregnancy. The Department of Basic Education policy is on the prevention and, the Department of Basic Education policy on the prevention and the management of the learner policy include comprehensive sexual education. The DBE has forced the CSE and script the lesson plan school, and they have stated that as the employer, it can force the educator to teach the CSE and other programs that are in conflict with the educator consigns. The educator and the SGB will not have a choice if they want to avoid the jail. They will be teach and implement whether the minister make the subject to the regulation. We need to stop this now by stopping the minister from making any regulation. The parliament must keep this power for itself and stop the ministers. We therefore reject the Bella bill as ACDP, in particularly clause 41. We ask rather amend the bill to include the freedom of conscience and protection for the educators and SGB. Comprehensive sexuality education cannot separate it from the value and the belief system of the parents, as involves closely held beliefs. I reject the Bella bills.
I'm just a short. Let me greet you, my panel in front of me, but I'm going to prefer to speak my home language, of which is Sotho. My name is Cedric Mufukeng. I'm from here, Botshabelo, right here at Ward 34. I'm an ANC member, fully member, ANC member. But I'm going to speak my home language in order other people just to hear me loud and clear. So, ntho ke tlo e buang baetapele ba ka ba Kgabane, ke utlwisisa hantle tokomane ena e hothweng e kenywa tshebetsong molemong wa bana ba rona, e leng yona ntho e bohlokwa ka ho fetisisa hantle. Ke nahana hore haebe e ne e draftuwa kapa e ngolwa fatshe, e ngotswe ka tjhebelo pele le ho bona hore setjhaba sa rona se bana le ponelo pele e tjhabileng molemong wa bana ba bo rona, empa e sa kgethe nku ka pere, e kgetha e mong le e mong e leng ngwana hore na wa color efeng, it doesn't matter, but the point ke hore we are all Africans, but e molemong wa rona. Ke utlwisisa hantle dikateng tse ka hara yona tokomane ena hore e re tshwaretse eng ha le ne le ngola fatshe, ebilane ke utlwisisa hantle hore ena ke yona e re tlo yang pele ka yona, hobane puso e bone hore hona le tse ding tsa dintho tse hlokahalang hore ha di kenywa tshebetsong ba dule fatshe ba utlwisise sepheo le morero le ho ntshetsa naha ya rona pele ke sefeng. Jwale se ke batlang ho se hlalosa, ke batla ke supporta ka matso a mabedi, ka jwalo ke a leboha. Thank you.
Translation.
The name is Cedric Mufukeng. I can notice that when this bill was drafted, it was solely for the benefit of all, not discriminating one against the other. And I also understand that this bill is very progressive, as it will benefit everybody in the future. I support the bill.
No, thank you very much. We have now come to an end of the participation of public hearings. Advocate Misa, are you fine? Just use the mic.
Thank you, Chairperson. With regards to the comprehensive sexual education, we have an official from the Department of Basic Education, Mr. Nshlakola, and he would like to address that if it's permissible. Thank you, ma'am.
You are not an administrator yet. You are not an administrator.
It's fine. No. Chairperson, thank you very much. We wanted to deal with some issues of misconception which are not necessarily captured in the bill, but can then send wrong messages to the community. There are three issues that were raised here. Firstly, the issue that our curriculum is inferior comparatively to the curriculum of other countries. That is a myth. Sorry? Okay. No, thanks. Yeah, thanks. I'm sorry. Yeah. What we are saying, the issue that has been said that the curriculum, the CAPS as it stands, is an inferior curriculum comparatively to other curriculum of the world. It's a myth if it's not a fallacy. I wanted to challenge ourselves to go and read the PIL's report that for 2020 and for 2022, what it says about our curriculum and the performance of the country in respect to the curriculum. It says South Africa, in terms of curriculum, is on the rise. Now, one cannot understand if we are saying the curriculum is inferior. There was also an argument that our curriculum does not cover the issue of values. That is not the truth. The pillars, the curriculum has got 3 pillars: values, skills, and attitude. They are there within the curriculum. Therefore, the issue that says our curriculum does not address the issue of values is not true. There is also the issue of the confusion between the NCS and the CAPS. Let us begin to understand the journey of the curriculum. National curriculum statements, the NCS, defines the what needs to be taught.
Okay, we ask you to respond on the CSE.
Okay, let me explain, ma'am. Those are the issues that were not part of the Bella Bill, but they were misconstrued here by some members who were participating in the Bella Bill, who are assumingly supposed to be participating in the Bella Bill. They raise these kind of issues. And those issues are worrying because they send the wrong message to the public. But if you say, I need to stop here, I'll respect you.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you very much, Baba Siyabonga. Let me just clarify a few issues. One, this is the second province, and this is a ROP today in Free State. We are coming from Coffee Fontaine, so this is the last public hearing that we are having in this province. But this is the second. We were in Limpopo last weekend, so we are here now. Next weekend we are going to Northwest. So the contribution that you have made here, are going to be part of the report, which is going to be a national report. We are going to make a classifications of support, not support, and partially support. So our report is going to have your views as well. So what one is trying to say is that the views that you have made, we have taken them as Parliament into consideration. All of you, every single member that has said a thing, we have taken that. But on top of that, there are people that have made written submissions, and those written submissions are forming also part of Mangaung venue, and they are going to be processed like that. So I'm going to give Honorable Ngobo to do a vote of thanks.
Thank you very much to you, Chairperson. Chairperson, this is what the government of the people should do. We came here asking for the votes in the Free State. You gave us the votes, and then we had to be elected to go to Parliament. But that is not, it shouldn't be the end of the story. We have to come back and hear your views. You sent us to go and make laws, among other things. As we make laws, some of them have to be amended. That is why then we came here as well in the Free State to hear your views on the amendment of the Bella Bill. And we have listened and we have heard you, like the chairperson has said. And we want to take this opportunity, therefore, to thank you for being so responsible. It is not being responsible for people to elect members to go to Parliament, and then just when they want to hear their views, they stay at home and then do not want to come and participate. You came, you participated, and your views have been heard, recorded, and will be dealt with like the chairperson has said. Also, Chairperson, I must take this opportunity to thank the support staff, all of them, Chairperson, including the security that has been helping us, both ours and the local. They have been with us since Thursday when we started, when we came here to Free State. But then, Chairperson, I must thank the people who are here to do their own work anyway. We did not need to be thanked, but it's a fact that we also had to put an effort and come here and make sure that we do the right thing. And we believe that we have done so. There are colleagues who were with us here when we started. I think the chairperson did extend the apology on their behalf. If not, we are extending that apology. They had to catch the flights back home to perform other activities. I thank you very much, Chairperson, for the opportunity.
Oh, thank you very much. As we are moving out, they are going to serve you with refreshments. Hak Freestad hak. Siyabonga. Siyabonga. Thank you very much.